Amcat Nation? Coach Bailey, Amcat Strength and Conditioning. Today's video comes at the request of one of our women's hockey players. Shout out to her and the entire women's hockey team. So our video today is going to consist of a great variety of exercises that you can do utilizing resistance bands. If you don't have resistance bands, you can get them at a store or you can get them online. They're pretty cheap, and I'm going to show you a few. So these bands shown here are bands that we use every day here at Anna Maria. A great way to add variety to our exercises and add different resistances. So just to go through these bands quick without endorsing any products, this is a light resistance band. They're usually red, pretty skinny. The next resistance up is about a medium resistance band. It's black. Okay, there's one in between here usually, and then we have the purple band, and we have the green band, which is the heaviest resistance. Coming over here to the mini bands, this is the lightest resistance we have, usually yellow. Not all companies are the same, so this is just the one that we have. Light is blue, green is the medium, heavy is red, and extra heavy is usually black in most cases. So for demonstration purposes, I'm only going to be using the light resistance bands. Normally, depending on the difficulty of the exercise, we'll change bands, but for the sake of time, we're going to run through all our exercises using these.
Hey Amcats, per usual, we're going to start this video off with some warm-ups. Like always, the health and safety of our body is most important. We start off performing some warm-ups for our shoulders, demonstrating stability and shoulder activation. As mentioned before in the introduction, normally we would change bands based on difficulty of the exercise. In this case, we're just using the light resistance bands throughout the entire video as well as this warm-up. Moving along to the large resistance bands, as we perform this overhead press, notice how I push my head through and push my hands back towards over my ears. This ensures a safe and efficient shoulder movement. During any movement where you're pulling the band towards your face, make sure your feet are firmly planted on the ground and they're on top of the band securely. Inevitably, the band may break, but to minimize the risk of this happening, make sure you're always checking your bands for any cracks or tears. Resistance bands are a great piece of equipment for exercise. They can replace things such as free weights and dumbbells, and they can also assist and modify your exercise. An added benefit that resistance bands bring to the table is that they create a strength curve. In other words, the farther you pull the band away from its starting point, the more resistance it brings. This is unlike a dumbbell or a free weight, where as you pull the dumbbell or free weight away from its starting point, it keeps a constant tension and it doesn't increase in resistance. With the previous information given, it's important to control the band and not to let the band control you. As you can see in my movements above, they're slow and controlled, not only on the concentric movement of me pulling the band, but also the eccentric movement of me releasing the band back towards its starting point. An underutilized exercise that we don't perform enough of is external rotation, as shown above. There are a few different variations of this external rotation throughout this video. You should keep track of it and perform it at home. External rotation helps to strengthen the muscles that are normally weak in people. Muscles such as infraspinatus, supraspinatus, teres major, and teres minor. An easy way to anchor a band to a door without any additional equipment is to simply tie a knot and then close the door behind it. Unfortunately, for the sake of time, there are many exercises that we did not get to, such as Pallof press, clamshells, hip bridges, and other essential movements. Luckily, we can cover all these exercises and more in upcoming videos. As mentioned in previous videos, while performing the split squat, at the bottom of the movement, both knees should reach 90 degrees and the front knee should never cross over the toe. With these two variations, the band is going to either want to pull your knee inward or outward. You have to fight that using your adductors and your abductor muscles. If you have trouble keeping your knee perfectly straight because your adductor or your abductors are weak, these next few videos are ways to strengthen those. During any external rotation exercise utilizing a band or cable, there should be a space in between your ribs and your elbow. To do this, we can place a yoga block in between, or we can roll up a towel or some type of clothing that we can fill this gap. The purpose for this is so that we avoid any impingement of the shoulder. Lateral band walks utilizing a long resistance band is a great exercise for the abductor muscles. Try stepping to your left once and then back to your right once, and then to your left 2 times and then back to your right 2 times. Consistently increase this by 1 rep each time until you get up to 10 reps, and you should start to feel a burn in your abductor muscles. While performing the overhead squat, make sure you keep the same principles as you do when you do the overhead press. Hands back over the ears. As mentioned in our previous video, make sure while you're performing dead bugs that your core is engaged, your belly button is pushed down towards the ground, your lower back is pushed down towards the ground, your knees are at 90 degrees, and your hands are overhead. Eliminate any arching of the lower back to avoid impingement. Reverse gas pedal is just a variation of a dead bug. Same principles apply. Push the core down into the ground and keep a neutral spine and a neutral pelvis. The next few exercises demonstrated are variations of band walks. Lateral band walks with the bands around your knees force you to engage your glute medius so that you can force your knee out over your toe. Similar principles apply while the band is wrapped around your ankles. However, with each step, the glute medius gets a rest while the foot is in contact with the ground. Lateral band walks around the toes quickly became my favorite lateral band walk. Changing the lever arm as far as possible away from the hip creates constant engagement of the glute medius and external rotation. Performing a squat with the band around the knees can either be used as a corrective exercise or an added resistance.
So there you go, Amcats. If you have resistance bands, try these out at home. Quick tip, make sure you check your resistance bands often. If they have any cracks or tears, you might as well replace them because they're not going to be safe after that point. Good band lasts about a year. After that, you should probably consider replacing it. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you haven't already, check out our Instagram and our Twitter page at GoAMCSC. Thanks, guys. See you next time.